everybody's having a great day. I am Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we are talking about how to fix your running form. Big question I get asked, and we are going to answer it here tonight. Lucky you. So how do you fix your running form? We got to figure out what's wrong with it first. So we're going to go over some popular running forms or some popular misrunning forms, some popular deviations from a perfect running form, and we're going to go over how we fix those. So we are going to cover a bunch of things tonight, so stay tuned. We'll get to your issue, hopefully. So let's first talk about one of the biggest things people always try to correct with running form, and that is a heel strike. Nobody likes to be a heel striker. They hear it's bad. Everyone wants to be a midfoot striker. They actually make shoes that are designed to supposedly help you be a midfoot striker. That's not the case. If you're not a midfoot striker, don't buy a midfoot striker shoe. So before I get into how to fix any of these, I'm going to tell you right now, just telling yourself to strike on your forefoot is not going to work. All right, which is why purchasing a specific shoe does not work just to magically change you to a forefoot striker. Is it better for your body to be a midfoot striker? Yeah. So when you strike with your hamstring, you actually are putting on the brakes. You're actually decelerating. You're not allowing your body, you're actually causing some strain on your hamstring. So it is better for your overall leg and your body to be a midfoot striker, but it is not as easy just saying, okay, well, I'm just going to move to my midfoot, because you have to figure out why you are a heel striker. So let's talk about some of those reasons. First one, most popular reason, is because a lot of people are overstriding. So what I mean by that is they're really reaching forward. They're really pushing that leg in front, which is causing them to strike with their heel. That is an overstride. You almost want to start to shorten your strides, okay? So that way you're not overstriding, you're not reaching out there with your heel, and you're able to land a little bit more underneath your knee, which is going to cause you to be a little bit more of a midfoot striker. Another cause of that heel or that issue is muscle imbalances in your leg, and we're going to talk a lot about this tonight, because this is the main reason why people run the way they do, is because that's the way your muscles are set up. That's the strengths that you're playing into. You're able to run. People always just say, all I gotta do is lace up my shoes and run. It's not that easy. It's really important to pay attention to your form, but if you haven't run for a while and you haven't done a lot of strength training, you're not gonna get that form correct. So some of these muscle imbalances that can happen are just weak hamstrings, weak hips. Those two areas, and you can check out our YouTube channel, Total Performance Physical Therapy. We have lots of exercises on how to strengthen your hamstrings, strengthen your hips. But those two weaknesses can cause the need for overstriding, can cause the need for that foot for that heel to strike first and not strike on that midfoot, okay? Another reason that you are doing a lot of heel strike and not necessarily midfoot strike is the collapse of your core. So I always say when you're running, you got to take your butt with you, and most people are out here and they're running like this. Well, this, sticking your butt out, and yes, that's a gross exaggeration, I get it, but if you're running and you go and you try to tighten up your core, and you can, that means your butt's been hanging out here and it's just in the back. And that's going to cause you, again, to try and compensate for the fact that your butt's out here to reach far forward. Now, if you tighten everything up, you're much more likely to become a midfoot striker, but you're not going to be able to tighten everything up just by saying, okay, contract your abdominals, because you're not going to run 3 miles with your abdominals completely in a crunch position. That's ridiculous. You need to do planks. You need to do side planks. You need to do reverse planks. This is when runners are doing the I don't strength training. Good for you. But I can't correct your running form unless you do some sort of strength training. I don't care if it's yoga, and intense yoga can be strength training. You don't have to go and hit the weights, but you need to make sure that if you are truly committed to fixing your running form and becoming a better runner, that you are strength training, okay? So in order to be able to take your butt with you when you run, you've got to have a strong core. You got to have a strong core by planks, side planks, reverse planks. Again, our YouTube YouTube channel, Total Performance Physical Therapy, shows you a lot of videos that will strengthen those things. So, some other issues with running. I see this a lot and it drives me crazy. People who cross the midline, all right? I know this is an over-exaggeration, all right? But honestly, all you need is your iPhone, Samsung, I don't care. Tell somebody to record you from behind for 5 seconds. You'll see, if you draw a straight line, are you crossing the midline? Most people are. And that is actually more of a weakness in the hips. You can't keep your legs out, and then you have tight adductors. So, how do you fix this? You're going to foam roll the adductors. You're going to foam roll the hamstrings. Check out our YouTube channel. We have a whole foam rolling video on your legs, adductors and hamstrings, and then you're going to strengthen your glutes, glute medius specifically. You can do this easily. Just stand on one leg and hike your hip up and down. It's not this, it's hiking your hip up and down. But that's going to help pull those legs off of crossing the midline, all right? That's a very, very popular thing to do. It's one of the biggest faux pas with running. It can cause you to trip, and it really is a misalignment or imbalance of a lot of things, not to mention your core. So the other thing that I see a lot with running is hip drop. So this, again, if you roll up your shirt, not going to be able to see it really well with me, but if you roll up your shirt, and again, you just have somebody hold a camera on you for 5 seconds, you're going to notice as you run, your hip drops, and you're going to go like this. Again, way exaggeration, but that's what it's looking like. And if you have your shorts on, and they're colorful, you're actually going to see your hip drop. And when you're running, you're going to see kind of this motion. That's all weakness. That's all muscle imbalance. You can't just tell yourself, okay, run with your hips straight. That doesn't work. You're going to last about a minute, and then it's all going to go back again. So in order to correct that, you are going to do your abdominal training, your planks, your side planks, your reverse planks. You're also going to do some hip strengthening, especially some abductors, your glute medius, side kicks. Again, we have those all on our YouTube channel, Total Performance Physical Therapy. It is important that you learn and you train yourself for abdominal strength and hip strengthening, especially if you are dropping down, especially if you cannot hold your pelvis straight. That is simply a strength issue. That's simply not a strength training issue. If you're someone like me and you've had 3 kids, you need to really lock that core down, okay? So unfortunately, it is really important that when you are a runner, that you don't just lace up your shoes and go out. You really pay attention to those things that you need to do, like strengthening. Another popular running issue is just a lot of rotation. So you'll see a lot of people doing rotation. And that's because you're overstriding. That usually goes hand in hand with heel striking. All right, so you see a lot of upper body movement. Your arms want to move, this does not. This should not be going this way. Again, you are not going to tell yourself to hold yourself forward because everything else is going to be thrown off by that. You need to stabilize your core, okay? That's a core issue. That's a hip and a core issue. They have to be able to work together unanimously. You're trying to get your power from up here and not from your legs and not from your feet. So again, those planks, side planks, reverse planks. It all really comes back to you cannot fix your running form unless you fix the issues that are causing the running form to not be where you need it to be. Foam rolling, strengthening. If you aren't doing these 2 things, you do not have a shot at fixing your running form. Don't kid yourself into saying, I'm just going to be a midfoot striker because I will myself to do it. There's a reason you're a heel striker. There's a reason you cross the midline. There's a reason your hips drop. It is very, very important you fix the cause. I am a big person on fixing the cause. Don't just try and fix the problem. It's not going to work. You've got to find the cause and fix that. If you or someone you know is having some issues with running and wants a free consultation, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898 and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks and have a good night.